OPP are investigating after a pair of crashes on the westbound 401 to the GTA. They say a motorcyclist suffered serious injuries after colliding with a deer. That's in the westbound lanes at Mill Street in Newcastle. There are detours at Mill Street for that investigation. Another person seriously injured, this in a single vehicle rollover crash that has the westbound 401 closed from Wesleyville to Newtonville Road.
Women's advocates say the criminal code needs to include a definition for femicide.
It is a change that they hope the Liberal government brings to the table after Prime Minister Mark Carney proposed cracking down on intimate partner violence in this year's federal election campaign. It comes as Ottawa police said last week that they were investigating the death of a 54-year-old woman as a femicide, and Kingston Police logged its first use of the label in a news release last month. Canadian Femicide Observatory founder and director Myrna Dawson says the Kingston example was very significant because without a definition in the criminal code, the term is not in the public's vocabulary very often. Dawson's group defines femicide as the killing of women and girls because of their gender and says 187 femicides happened last year. David Augustine, The Canadian Press.
680 News Time, 7:08. The First Minister's meeting this week drew rave reviews from Premier Ford. On the Big Story podcast this week, host Cormac McSweeney speaks with the former Nova Scotia Premier Stephen McNeil about what it's like in the room at these meetings and what the comments from some of the premiers attending could mean.
Given all of the talk leading into it, were you kind of surprised that even Alberta's Danielle Smith said encouraged by the talks that they had?
Well, no, I think the Prime Minister has sent a very strong signal from, since he's been the leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister of Canada and going into the federal election, that he understood the frustration of Western Canada.
You can listen to the full podcast, just Story on the Seeker app or your favorite podcast player.
Your gas price update is next.
It's 7:09.
680.
News Radio Toronto. Hey, is that a new air conditioner?
Yep, I got a cool deal from Atlas Care Heating and Air Conditioning. No interest and no payments till next summer.
What's the catch?
No catch, no interest, no payments for 12 months. So I'm staying cool and saving money.
Thanks for the tip.
No problem. But this limited time offer ends June 30th. So you better hurry.
Feel right at home with Atlas Care.
Call Atlas Care today and let the pros in the green trucks save you big bucks.
Now, the News Radio Toronto gas price update. Enpro says the price went up, as said at midnight, to $1.33.9 a litre at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather next.
Where style meets performance, a new journey begins. Genesis delivers bold elegance and cutting-edge innovation.
From courtside to luxury rides, go where the basketball stars shine, on the road.
Visit genesismississauga.ca today for an experience centered around you.
Blue speaks of youth, sincerity, truth, and spirituality.
A blue diamond would look fabulous in your engagement ring.
The color of your diamond announces who you are.
Pink is the color of romance, joy, sexuality, and love.
A pink diamond is exotic.
What does yellow mean, Sarah?
Sunshine, happiness, and lighthearted energy. Yellow is spontaneous and cheerful.
Created in the heart of a miniature star, Spence has diamonds that are pink, yellow, and blue.
Which is the color for you?
Spence. Wow! In Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
Outdoor Covers Canada has you covered. Protect your patio furniture, barbecues, power sports, watercraft, and more. We also make custom covers. Canadian owned and operated and experts in our field. Visit us at outdoorcovers.ca and keep it undercover.
680 News Time, 7:11. Time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Chloe Bernabe.
This report is brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. So we have two closures of the westbound 401 out east. So Wesleyville Road to Newtonville Road, all lanes closed there for a crash. And then through Mill Street in Newcastle, all lanes are closed. So you'll be forced off at Wesleyville. You can get back on at Newtonville. And then you're forced off at Mill Street, but you can get back on right at Mill Street. You may just want to take Highway 2 to just avoid getting on and off the highway, but no major delays as you do so. Other than those two issues on the westbound 401, through the city, things are moving really well at this point. No other issues. Eastbound 401, east of Bayview to approaching Brimley, all the express lanes continue to be closed for construction. That transferred to the express at the 404 DVP closed. And then northbound DVP 404, no access to the eastbound 401 express lanes as they do that road work. Westbound out on the QEW, we still have some road work at Huron, Ontario, blocking the 2 right lanes. The ramps to and from Mississauga Road are closed. Long-term road work has the westbound Bloomington on-ramp to the southbound 404 shut down. And then on the southbound 410 ramp to the eastbound 401, a left lane taken out there. If you've been injured, Diamond and Diamond is in your corner. Canada's largest injury law firm with over 65 lawyers. Call Diamond and Diamond for a free consultation. 1-800-567-HURT. And now with your forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
All right, it is a cloudy morning out there in spots, but we also have some sunshine still. 14 out at Pearson right now. 22 is the guaranteed high. We still have some smoke out there this morning, and that air quality, it is still in the moderate category. We're headed towards a dip in the air quality, so that's going to be an improvement because of a southeasterly wind just kind of pushing that haze and that smoke out of here during the afternoon and into the evening. So we're going back into the low risk category for tomorrow. We do have the chance for some showers tonight. Certainly as we go into the afternoon and into the evening, it will be scattered in nature, not super widespread, and 14 for the low. Tomorrow, it's definitely a wet day. Rain showers and thunderstorms, cloudy conditions, and 20 will be the high, 13 will be the low. Tomorrow, the air quality is actually pretty good because that rain is going to help kind of purify the air quite a bit, kind of cleans it. Right now, it is 14 at Pearson. Your guaranteed high is 22.
680 News Time, 7:13. Some of the world's biggest streaming companies will argue in court tomorrow that they shouldn't have to contribute towards Canadian content and news. The companies are fighting an order from the CRTC that they pay 5% of their annual Canadian revenues to funds devoted to producing Canadian content. The case combines several appeals by streamers and will be heard by the Federal Court of Appeal in Toronto. In December, the court paused the payments, which are estimated to be at least $1.25 million each every year. Amazon, Apple, and Spotify are fighting the CRTC's order, while the group representing companies including Netflix and Paramount is only challenging a section of the ruling that requires them to contribute to local news. Headlines and sports next. 680 News Time, 7:14.
Food Network dishes out the freshest episodes of the biggest shows you love.
The throne is yours, chef.
Watch your favorite all-star chefs dice it out on House of Knives.
Are you ready for combat?
And beat Bobby Flay.
This thing is going to be killer.
Take sides as the competition gets personal on Cutthroat Kitchen and Chopped, Hungry for Love.
You're doing $50K and that's it.
And feast on all the treats of Man Eats Eats and Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Nothing tastes better. Only on Food Network. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
680 News Time, 7:14.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
It is 14 degrees in downtown Toronto. A few clouds in the sky, but mostly hazy sunshine. Good morning. I'm Caitlin Lee.
I'm John Leatherby. Here's what's making news right now.
A man has died following a shooting in the Toronto's northwest. It happened after 10 o'clock at Jane and Emmett last night. That's near Jane and Weston Road. No suspect information has been released, but we know the homicide unit has now been called in. Donald Trump mobilizing the National Guard to the Los Angeles area as protests continue over immigration raids, a move the California governor says will only escalate tensions. And coming up on 680 News Radio.
2 construction projects on 400 series highways are going to wrap up over the next week. I'll let you know where you can expect a better drive soon.
Now sports, here is Ben Lewis.
The red-hot Blue Jays did it again. George Springer hit a go-ahead bomb in the top of the 8th, and Toronto rallied past the Twins 5-4.
2-2 pitch hit high, deep left field. Going back, Castro at the wall. It's gone! 2-run go-ahead shot for George Springer.
that is the call on George Springer's 10th of the season. Tyler Heineman also homered, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. added an RBI single. Jeff Hoffman picking up his 14th save of the season as the Jays improved to 35-29. They sit atop the wild card standings in the American League and will try for a sweep this afternoon. Game time 2 o'clock on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet. At the RBC Canadian Open in Caledon, Mackenzie Hughes made a move, surging to 12 under par for the tournament, and he's two back of the leaders Matteo Manacero and Ryan Fox. Canadians Adam Hadwin, Nick Taylor, and Taylor Pendrith are all 4 shots off the pace. The final round tees off this morning. Toronto's Summer McIntosh made some history last night, posting a world record time in the 400-meter freestyle event at the Bell Canadian Swimming Trials with a time of 3 minutes, 54.18 seconds. The NBA Finals resume tonight. Game 2 from OKC as the Thunder host the Pacers. Indiana with a chance to go up 2-0. Tip is at 8 o'clock. The Stampeders opened their CFL season with a 38-26 win over Hamilton last night. BC crushed Edmonton 31-14. And we get the French Open men's final this morning. Yannick Sinner will take on defending champion Carlos Alcaraz at 9. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
That doesn't sound good, especially with another hot summer on the way. To help get your home prepared, get a free AC checkup from an Enercare expert, a $99 value. And if it can't be fixed, you can get up to $7,000 in prepaid credit cards when you rent a new heat pump and furnace, installed as soon as the next day. Doesn't that sound better? Conditions apply. Visit Enercare.ca.
Enercare, experts at home. Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now starting at $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the McChicken, Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink starting at $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
Discover more value at Loblaws all summer. This week at family-sized boneless, skinless chicken breast for $4.58 per pound. Offer ends June 11th. Shop in-store or online. Conditions apply. See flyer for details. Loblaws, proudly Canadian since 1919.
All News Radio Time, 7:19.
A few construction projects are wrapping up over the next week. 6 City's Jordan Kerr takes a look at how your drive will be improved.
2 construction zones on the 400 series highways are set to clear over the next few days, a relief for drivers coming out of Northern Peel and Northern York regions. The first to wrap up is the southbound 404 at Bloomington. For over a week now, the left lane has been closed at Bloomington while crews do bridge work. That lane is going to reopen 5 a.m. Tuesday, but the westbound Bloomington ramp to the southbound 404 will remain closed until July 7th. In Mississauga, the southbound 410 ramp to the eastbound 401 has been down to a single lane for roadwork since mid-May. It's finally going to fully reopen by Friday, June 13th. This spot has been constantly causing delays, so drivers will get some relief before getting to the 401. Well, summer is around the corner, so that's sure to mean more construction. Listen regularly for the latest traffic updates every 10 minutes on the ones. I'm Jordan Kerr.
Traffic and weather next. 680 News Time, 7:20.
Thanks to IKEA, my bedroom feels extra sleepy. These new blackout curtains keep it extra dark, and my new duvet keeps me extra cozy. But it also made my nighttime extra boring, because the monster under my bed is sleeping better too. Hey, buddy, wake up. Hey.
Don't scare me like that. What are you trying to do to me? Jeez.
Visit IKEA today and start sleeping better tomorrow with everything you need for the bedroom of your dreams.
We can't fix the commute, but we can fix lunch. Introducing Gather by O&B, your ticket to chef-driven restaurant quality dishes delivered to your home or office. From early morning meetings to midday team boosts and last-minute party snacks, Gather's got you covered. Just hop online, build your cart, pick your delivery time, and boom! Deliciousness delivered. Get fresh, seasonal flavors without lifting a finger. We cook, you gather. Visit oliverbonaccini.com/gather.
680 News Time, 7:21.
Time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather on the ones. Here is Chloe Bernabé.
This report is brought to you by Tour Hotel. So westbound 401 out east, there are 2 full closures of the highway due to 2 separate collisions. So first, Wesleyville Road to Newtonville Road, all lanes are closed. And then through Mill Street, again, all lanes blocked off. You may just want to take Highway 2 to avoid getting on and off the highway, but there's really no delays as you do so if you do decide to get on and off the westbound 401. If you're traveling on the westbound QEW, we do have some slowdowns occurring now. West of Huron, Ontario, 2 right lanes were blocked off with construction. It looks like crews are picking up the pylons right now, so slowing down from here, Ontario, as you move past those crews. The ramps to and from Mississauga Road have just reopened. On the eastbound side of the 401, east of Bayview to approaching Brimley, all of the express lanes still closed for construction. You can't transfer to the express at the 404 DVP. And on the northbound DVP 404 itself, you can't get to the eastbound 401 express lanes. You can still get to those collectors. Southbound 410 ramp to the eastbound 401 has a left lane blocked off. And keep in mind that westbound Bloomington on-ramp to the southbound 404 remains closed. Introducing Tour Hotel. Enjoy breathtaking city and lake views from every room and unwind at Muse Bistro and Bar. Book your perfect stay at tourhotel.com. And now with your forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
All right. It is going to be a mix of sun and cloud really for us today across the GTA, and that smoke still staying with us this morning, but that southeasterly wind this afternoon will drive it away from the GTA, and that is good news for us. So this afternoon, look for improving air quality. There will be also a few showers popping up around Lake Ontario, but really for the Niagara region, that's where you're going to get the bulk of the activity. 22 for the guaranteed high, 14 for the low. Rain and thunderstorms tomorrow. Definitely have the umbrella with you. 20 degrees for your Monday. And then Tuesday, sun and cloud in 21 with still some lingering rain showers. Right now, it is 14 at Pearson. Your guaranteed high today is 22.
6:80 this time, 7:23. Coming up at 7:30. Breaking news from Toronto police. The homicide unit called in after a man was shot in the city's Mount Dennis neighborhood last night. He's now died in hospital.
In 1977, my parents began making windows in our garage right here in the GTA. Hi, I'm Bernard Rokiki of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. 48 years later, we're still here making Canadian windows for our Canadian climate. Built by hardworking hands with care and precision, our windows are crafted by your friends, family, and neighbors. Supporting local jobs and keeping your home secure, we're proud to be part of your community. To see for yourself, visit our Factory Direct showroom or inlinefiberglass.com.
680 News Radio is looking for great athletes, community ambassadors, and awesome people.
Do you know the next sports superstar? Or someone in sport who's making a difference in their community?
Nominate them for the 680 News Radio Athlete of the Week at toronto.citynews.ca/athlete. We'll feature them
telling their story and shining a light on what's good in our community.
The Athlete of the Week, exclusively on 680 News Radio Toronto.
This is 680 News Radio. The Best in Broadway honored on Sunday at the 78th Tony Awards at New York City's Radio City Music Hall.
Major star power at the Tonys this year. Succession's Sarah Snook, Sadie Sink, Nicole Scherzinger, and George Clooney are among the first-time nominees.
There are a certain kind of people who are the lifeblood of democracy. Never strain in their pursuit of what matters.
Clooney made his Broadway debut in Good Night and Good Luck and is up for Best Actor in a Play. Broadway icon Audra McDonald snagged her 11th Tony nomination for Gypsy, making her the most Tony-nominated performer in history.
Some people can get a thrill, knitting sweaters and sitting still.
The unique musical Maybe Happy Ending, Buena Vista Social Club, and Death Becomes Her all have 10 nominations each. Other nominated productions include Sunset Boulevard, Gypsy, and Operation Mincemeat. The Tonys air Sunday night at 8 on CBS. I'm Eva Fragiscatos.
And a handful of local clubs are collaborating on Girls Rugby Day, taking place in North York this afternoon to increase awareness and participation. 680's Simon Bennett with more.
Rugby is actually the fastest growing women's sport in this country. Last year's Olympic silver probably helps. Girls Rugby Day features hands-on sessions with varsity players and coaches. Toronto City Amazons U14 coach Amy Flood.
Girls and all athletes are taught how to tackle respectfully and effectively and safely. It's actually, if you compare it to football or soccer, the safest contact sport out there.
It's also a fundraiser to help the national team get the training time they need in the UK ahead of the World Cup.
The Canadian women's team, although it's number 2 in the world right now, has the lowest funding of any professional rugby team in the world.
Girls Rugby Day is free from 4 to 6:30 at Crescent School Fields. That's at Bayview near Lawrence. I'm Simon Bennett.
Coming up, your business report. But first, Toronto police investigating after a home near Finch and the 400 was hit by gunfire overnight. It happened just after 4 a.m. Police say there was damage to property, but no one was hurt. An investigation is ongoing. This is 680 News Radio Toronto.
This portion of 680 News Radio is brought to you by the Herzig Eye Institute.
Hi, I'm Cherry Tab, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. Have you noticed superheroes don't become superheroes until they take off their glasses? Look, up in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? If you can't tell, Herzig is here to help. Our eye surgeons are world class. Our technology the most advanced. Google Herzig Eye Institute. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Look after yourself. Promise me.
Hi, Steve again. Are you contemplating buying that new Sofa Better sectional? It looks good and the price seems fine enough, but if you ask the right questions, where is it made? Are the insides healthy and good for the planet? Is it available in different colors and sizes? If the answers don't add up, come do your math with us at the Chesterfield Shop.
The Chesterfield Shop, your leather superstore.
Pay no HST on our Canadian-made seating at all of our 6 great locations.
Now your business report brought to you by Dynamic Funds.
More social media platforms are leaning into video. Microsoft-owned LinkedIn has, with plans to begin sharing advertising revenue with creators for the first time. Bloomberg's Lucas Shaw explains the visual attraction.
Every social media platform wants more video because it monetizes better, right? Twitter wishes it had more video. LinkedIn wants more video. Instagram wants more video instead of photos.
Video looks different across each platform, but will it work on a professional level, like on LinkedIn?
Think about the types of things that people post there, right? Job updates, people posting thoughts on the news is what they seem to want more of, which is something that you can go to Twitter for, something you can certainly go to YouTube and Instagram for, but there already is an audience on LinkedIn. One of the advantages that they hopefully have, although maybe not, is that like the types of people posting there are those who have a little more credibility because it is a professional network.
Lisa Mateo, Bloomberg Radio.
Sometimes I feel a bit helpless with the state of the world, and it feels really hard to make an impact on people's lives. I donate because it makes me feel better to know that I can actually do something today to help people. Donating blood helps me feel like I'm making a difference in the world.
Canadian Blood Services. Experience what you get when you give. Book an appointment at blood.ca.
Bright sunshine day.
The Big Check event is on now at Sport Check. From June 5th to 18th, shop savings up to 60% off. Find amazing deals on golf, bikes, shoes, and more. See in-store or sportcheck.ca for more details.
At the National Bank Open, presented by Rogers, athletes play hard. But fans play harder. Welcome to the tennis playground. Get your tickets now at nationalbankopen.com.
680 News Time, 7:30.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good morning. It is Sunday, the 8th of June. I'm John Leatherby.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here's what's making news this hour.
A man shot on the Jane and Weston Road area last night has died in hospital. A homicide squad has been called in.
A boy has minor injuries and a man has been charged with impaired driving after a crash near Finch and Highway 27.
The National Guard, usually under the purview of the state, called into California by President Trump to what the administration says, quell lawlessness.
The Jays topped the Twins to push their winning streak to 4 straight, while Mackenzie Hughes is 12 under par and 2 strokes back at the RBC Canadian Open. Sports at 45.
680 News Time, 7:31.
Rogers Xfinity, internet traffic, and weather together on the ones. Here's Chloe Bernabe.
This report is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. So if you're traveling on the westbound 401, it seems like we still have 2 closures of the highway out east because of 2 separate collisions. So first, it's closed from Wesleyville Road to Newtonville Road, and then it's closed through Mill Street. So either you can get on and off the highway a couple of times, or just take Highway 2 as a detour, but there is no delays on the westbound eastbound 401 itself as you're getting on and off the highway. Your major routes are pretty lightly traveled at this hour. If you're traveling on the eastbound 401 east of Bayview to approaching Brimley, all of the express lanes are still closed for construction. That also means you can't transfer to the express at the 404 DVP or get into the express lanes on the eastbound 401 from the northbound 404 DVP. So keep that in mind. Westbound QEW, that construction west of here, Ontario, has cleared away. On the southbound 410 ramp to the eastbound 401, there's a left lane blocked off there for some more long-term road work. And then the westbound Bloomington on-ramp to the southbound 404 remains shut down until the beginning of July for construction. Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at desjardins.com/care today. Your next traffic report at 7:41. And now with your forecast, here's meteorologist Carl Lamb.
Okay, a mix of sun and cloud for us this morning across the GTA, and we will have a southeasterly wind, which is beneficial for us because it's actually going to push some of that smoke out of the GTA, so it's going in reverse. We did have northerly winds that was really just kind of the vehicle for getting that smoke into the GTA. This is reverse, so it's kind of pushing it away from us, especially through the afternoon. So that air quality will start to improve. A chance for a few showers this afternoon and evening, mainly after 2 o'clock around Lake Ontario. That's where you have the best chance of getting in on some of that rain, and then tonight down to 14. Right now it's 14 at Pearson. Your guaranteed high is 22.
6:80 news time, 7:33.
A man shot in the Mount Dennis neighborhood of Toronto last night has died of his injuries in hospital. The homicide squad has been called in trying to determine a motive.
They're also looking for a suspect. No description so far has been made available. It happened just before 10 p.m. in the area near Jane and Weston Road.
And a man in his 60s arrested for impaired driving. This after a collision that injured a 12-year-old boy. Toronto police say the two-vehicle crash happened around 9:30 last night near Highway 27 in Finch. The boy was taken to hospital with minor injuries.
6:80 news time, 7:34.
Everything Toronto.
Festival season continues today with Due West Fest on Dundas, as well as Taste of North York at Mel Lastman Square. Keep in mind, though, a planned subway closure is still in place on Line 2, the Bloor Danforth line between Woodbine and Broadview stations. Shuttle buses are running instead. You can find out more about this weekend's events at toronto.citynews.ca.
You're listening to 680 News Radio, Toronto.
680 News Radio. Developing story.
U.S. President Trump deploying 2,000 California National Guards troops to Los Angeles over the objections of California's Governor Gavin Newsom. The move comes as protesters have clashed with authorities for the past 2 days, this over immigration raids. ABC's Tim Caputo is in Compton, south of Los Angeles.
I can't tell you that there have been any serious injuries out here, but I can say we have seen firsthand a number of injuries from both sides of the street here. Protesters hit with those non-lethal rounds, hit with fireworks kind of ricocheted even off their face, cutting them up, and even saw a couple of sheriff's deputies inside a restaurant being treated. Obviously, it has been a heartbreaking day all around here, and it doesn't seem to be any close to being over anytime soon.
White House said in a statement that Trump was deploying the troops to, quote, address the lawlessness that has been allowed to fester in California.
6:80 news time, 7:35. Officials in Saskatchewan say light rain and cooler temperatures this weekend, along with a fire ban by that province, could help control some of the larger wildfires there. Dozens of communities in Saskatchewan have been evacuated because of the wildfires. The Saskatchewan government said on Saturday it's increasing financial support for wildfire evacuees, doubling some registered payouts from $20 a day to $40.
And the smoke that's been hovering around the city pretty much all week long has eased off a bit this weekend. 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb says a change in the wind has helped that.
So with that southeasterly wind, it essentially kind of clears the air a little bit so that air quality will improve as we go into the afternoon and evening. Also, we'll have some showers popping up today, and that certainly does help kind of clean the air a little bit.
Right now, Environment Canada's Air Quality Health Index for the city of Toronto at 5. That's moderate. Carl's saying that more smoke set to roll in around the middle of the week. Right now, it is 14 degrees at Pearson. Stay with 680 News Radio, the latest weather updates and traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the ones.
Some of the world's biggest streaming companies set to fight an order from the CRTC.
The companies will be in court on Monday and argue that they shouldn't have to make contributions toward Canadian content and news. They are fighting an order from the CRTC that they pay 5% of their annual Canadian revenues to fund the production of Canadian content. The case consolidates several appeals by streamers and will be heard by the Federal Court of Appeal in Toronto. In its defense of the CRTC, the federal government argued the regulator was within its rights to order the payments and that streamers have greatly profited from Canadian audiences. David Augustine, The Canadian Press.
680 News Time, 7:37. A 21-year-old Seattle man charged in a string of burglaries that targeted high-profile athletes. He's accused of breaking into the homes of football and baseball players in the state of Washington. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
Officials say Earl Riley IV is one of the men seen in video shared by Seattle Seahawks star Richard Sherman in March, and that it's one example of the targeted break-ins. Court documents say Mariners center fielder Julio Rodriguez, pitcher Luis Castillo, and Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell are all victims. Hundreds of thousands worth of goods stolen from them.
Riley faces several counts of residential burglary along with first-degree robbery, and prosecutors say more arrests could be on the way.
680 News Time, 7:37. The city of Brampton marking Filipino Heritage Month this afternoon. The event includes a flag raising, song and dance performances, and free traditional food once those performances end. The flag raising takes place at 10:30 this morning, and the festivities will keep going until 2 o'clock this afternoon.
There's now a digital app to help humans help our fine-feathered friends. The Nature Counts app is a team effort by Birds Canada and Canadian software maker Punchcard. Catherine Jardine, a data expert with Birds Canada, telling 680 News Radio policymakers and land managers need reliable, accessible data.
So you have data coming in directly from people in the field into the app that immediately feeds into the Nature Counts database, which immediately feeds into policy decisions.
2024 State of Canada's Birds Report finding over a third of bird species in this country's decline since 1970. That is up to nearly 3 billion in North America.
The biggest night in theater gets underway tonight.
No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened.
The original cast of Hamilton expected to reunite at this year's Tony Awards and perform during the ceremony, including Ariana DeBose and Lin-Manuel Miranda. The reunion marks a decade since the award-winning show first took Broadway by storm. It's since won 11 Tonys. Wicked film star and Tony, Grammy, and Emmy Award winner Cynthia Erivo will host tonight's ceremony. It airs live at 8 o'clock this evening in New York City.
It isn't pretty. Then Jefferson approaches with the dinner.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll have a check of gas prices.
680 News Time, 7:39.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
Hey Toronto, stuck waiting for the next paycheck? What if you could skip the wait and get your cash in minutes?
Really?
Absolutely. With iCash.ca, you can apply online anytime, anywhere, even while riding the bus.
Now that I can get on board with.
Just a fast online application, an instant decision, and funds are e-transferred in just 2 minutes. With 96% of applications approved, go to iCash.ca or download the iCash app now and get the money you need fast.
The gas price update. Pro says the price went up 1 cent at midnight, $1.33.9 cents a liter this morning at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next.
680 News Time, 740.
The Princess Margaret Cottage Lottery. Get in by midnight Friday to win one of 3 incredible VIP prizes. Rock out at 5 epic concerts of your choice with 25 grand. Or cash in $30,000 instead. We're also awarding 3,500 Princess Margaret Cottage Lottery tickets. Buy now to win more. VIP deadline is midnight Friday. Carry the fire. Buy your tickets now at princessmargaretlotto.com. Please responsibly. Raffle number 1456195.
Imagine your business featured right here, reaching engaged listeners in your community. With Rogers Sports and Media's Ad Manager, you can advertise on premium radio, podcast, and digital platforms. Connect with trusted audiences who love our content. No ad buying experience needed. Our team can even produce your ad at no cost. Plus, we'll help you get started with up to $500 off your next campaign. Manage your radio, podcast, and digital advertising all in one place. Visit grow.rogersportsandmedia.com.
City News Time, 741.
Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones with Chloe Bernabé.
This report is brought to you by Canadian Tire in support of Jumpstart. So if you're traveling on the westbound 401, we still have 2 full closures of the highway out east due to some collisions. So first, Wesleyville Road to Newtonville Road, all lanes are closed through that stretch. And then you can get back on at Newtonville Road, but then shortly after at Mill Street, all lanes are closed through there as well for a second crash. So you may as well just take Highway 2 just to avoid getting on and off the highway, but no significant delays on the westbound 401 through that stretch. West of Yonge to approaching the Allen and the Express, a right lane blocked off for long-term road work. Not seeing any delays there at the moment. Eastbound 401, some good news. East of Bayview to approaching Brimley, all the express lanes were closed. They have just reopened. That would mean that transfer to the Express at the 404 DVP is reopened, as well as the northbound DVP 404 ramp that gets you to the eastbound 401 express lanes. Southbound 404, the westbound Bloomington on-ramp still closed. That's long-term road work. And southbound 410 on the ramp to the eastbound 401, a left lane blocked off there for some construction. Canadian Tire in support of Jumpstart. Jumpstart helps families overcome financial barriers to sport and play. Donate this Jumpstart month at jumpstart.canadiantire.ca. And now with your forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Okay, well, we've got a pretty interesting day on the way. We have some cloud cover that's really quite thick. It's gotten much thicker over the last hour. And so we will have temperatures getting up to 22 degrees today. We will have eventually that mix of sun and cloud. The smoke is still in place, but we do have the southeasterly wind that is going to essentially serve as kind of a counter to where it's going. It's not going to just bring in more smoke. It's actually going to push it away. And then we do have the chance for some showers from some of these clouds during the afternoon and evening around Lake Ontario. So that's really today in a nutshell. 22 for the high, 14 for the low. Tomorrow, rain on the way, some thunderstorms as well. Definitely have the umbrella. 10 to 15 millimeters too, and 20 for the high tomorrow. Right now, it's 14 and mostly cloudy out at Pearson. Your guaranteed high is 22.
680 News Time 743. The top stories of this morning and sports next.
It's Employment Law Q&A.
From 680 News Radio and Canada's leading employment lawyer, Howard Levitt, at levittlawyers.com.
Howard, true or false? As an employer, should I lowball the initial severance to get a better deal?
False. If you offer too little as an employer, you're bound to be sued. And once you start moving up, the employee thinks the sky will be the limit.
If an employee's conduct gives rise to a reason for discharge, I have to move fast.
True. If you wait too long, the court will no longer allow you to rely on the cause that you have. You have to move quickly when you have cause to fire them.
Before I discipline or move to terminate an employee, I better have all of my facts together.
True. You have to do your homework. Get the employee side of the story and ensure your case is ironclad.
To contact Howard, visit levittlawyers.com. That's levittlawyers.com.
Employment Law Q&A.
From Howard Levitt and 680 News Radio Toronto. The more you listen, the more you'll know. 680 News Radio.
Right now, 14 degrees at Pearson, a hazy sun in downtown Toronto. Good morning. I'm John Leatherby.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here's what's making news this hour.
A man shot in the Mount Dennis neighborhood of Toronto last night has died of his injuries in a hospital. Toronto police have sent in the homicide squad and the search is on for a suspect. U.S. President Donald Trump is deploying 2,000 California National Guards troops to Los Angeles over the objections of California's governor. This move comes as protesters have clashed with authorities for the past 2 days over immigration raids. Time for sports. Here's Ben Lewis.
They are red hot. The Blue Jays extended their winning streak with a 5-4 win in Minnesota yesterday.
1-1. Swing and a fly ball. Left field. Going back, Clase puts his arms out, makes the catch in front of the track, and the Blue Jays win. It's a good day to be a Toronto Blue Jay, winning 5-4.
That's the final call from Ben Schulman. Jeff Hoffman locking down his 14th save of the season. George Springer had a go-ahead 2-run shot in the 8th inning. Tyler Heineman also homered, and the Jays have now won 9 of their last 10. They're 35-29 on the season, first in the AL wildcard standings. They'll try for a sweep of the Twins this afternoon. Game time 2 o'clock on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet. Mackenzie Hughes made a big move at the RBC Canadian Open in Caledon yesterday, firing a 6-under round of 64. He's up to 12 under, just 2 shots back of leaders Matteo Manassero and Ryan Fox. Adam Hadwin, Nick Taylor, Taylor Pendrith all sitting just 4 back. The final round will tee off this morning. Toronto's Summer McIntosh set a world record time in the 400-meter freestyle event last night at the Bell Canadian Swimming Trials, posting a time of 3 minutes 54.18 seconds. The NBA Finals resume tonight. Game 2 between the Pacers and the Thunder from Oklahoma City. Game time 8 o'clock. And in CFL action, the BC Lions hammered Edmonton 31-14. The Stampeders topped Hamilton 38-26. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
This summer at Metro, we're celebrating our MVPs, most valuable products, like fresh chicken drumsticks or thighs for only $1.99 per pound, and organic blueberries or blackberries for just $2.44 each, only until June 11th. Shop now in store or online at metro.ca.
The Big Check event is on now at Sport Check. From June 5th to 18th, shop savings up to 60% off. Find amazing deals on golf, bikes, shoes, and more. See in-store or sportcheck.ca for more details.
Hi, I'm Cherry Tab, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. For years, I've talked to you often about every new advancement Herzig has introduced in vision correction technology. But I promise you that technology alone will never, I repeat, never take the place of the care and personal attention we give each and every patient. Google Herzig Eye Institute. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Look after yourself. Promise me.
680 News Time, 7:48.
It's time for the Road Ready Report with 680's automotive specialist Tim Demopoulos.
When it comes to driving comfort, few things matter more in the summer than your car's air conditioning. But it's not just about staying cool, it's about safety too. An AC system helps prevent driver fatigue and keeps your windshield clear by reducing humidity inside the cabin. Most systems use a compressor to circulate refrigerant, pulling heat out of the cabin and pushing it to the outside. In newer vehicles, climate control is smarter than ever, with dual zone settings, air filtration, and sensors that adjust to humidity and sunlight. With summer almost here, don't forget to maintain your car's AC. Replacing your cabin air filter and checking refrigerant levels can go a long way in keeping things running smoothly, especially during a heat wave or on that long summer road trip. With the Road Ready Report, I'm Tim Demopoulos.
It's a chance for more young girls to get into rugby. 680 Simon Bennett has more on a special event taking place in North York.
Girls Rugby Day is a collaboration of 6 local clubs, a one-day event that organizers hope will raise interest and stomp on stereotypes. Amy Flood is coach of the U14 Toronto City Amazons.
It is the fastest growing sport in Canada for women. Involvement in rugby can empower girls by challenging societal stereotypes and breaking gender barriers. It promotes the idea that women can excel in physically demanding activities, which are traditionally associated with men.
Varsity players from top university schools will be there for hands-on sessions, along with Team Canada head coach Jack Hanratty. There's also a fundraiser to help the women's national team pay for training time in the UK ahead of this summer's World Cup. It's at Crescent School Fields in Bayview near Lawrence from 4 to 6:30, and it's free. I'm Simon Bennett.
Coming up, traffic and weather together. 680 News Time is 7:50.
680 News Radio Toronto.
I love your motorized window coverings.
Thanks. I got them made by Linen Chest, and now their Hunter Douglas blinds and shades are on sale.
Really? How does it work?
For absolutely no charge, their experienced specialists will visit your home, show you samples, measure your windows, and give you a quote. They even have a 1-year lowest price policy guarantee and will install whenever it's convenient.
Amazing. I'm calling Linen Chest.
Yes. Call or go to linenchest.com to book your free consultation. It's so easy.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio Toronto.
Debt problems go away when you visit Chande.ca.
Do you feel like your debt is out of control? You make payments month after month, yet your debt grows larger and larger. I'm Mike Chande, a licensed insolvency trustee. I can help you break the chains of debt and be debt-free. Book a free consultation at chande.ca.
Debt problems go away when you visit Chande.ca.
Chande, C-H-A-N-D-E.
680 News Time, 7:51. Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Further east of Toronto you go. It seems busier. It is Chloe Bernabé.
Oh, absolutely. But we do have some good news coming in from MTO. John, this report brought to you by Gateway Casinos. So westbound 401, as far as we're aware, the highway is still closed from Wesleyville Road to Newtonville Road. That was for a collision. But MTO has just told us that full closure through Mill Street in Newcastle has just reopened. So that's some good news at least. If you're traveling on the eastbound 401, east of Bayview to approaching Brimley, all of those express lanes were closed for construction. That's gone. The transfer to the express has reopened at the 404 DVP, and you can now get into the eastbound 401 express lanes from the northbound DVP 404. So a lot of this lingering overnight construction is finally starting to clear up. Southbound 410 on the ramp to the eastbound 401, the left lane blocked off there for some long-term construction, and you can't get onto the southbound 404 from westbound Bloomington. Of course, on the Gardiner, both directions, Dufferin to Strawn, you're down to 2 lanes from the usual 3. And on city streets, keep in mind, Dundas is closed both directions, Lansdowne to Shaw. That's for Due West Fest. Head indoors for fun this weekend at Gateway Casinos Innisfil, Casino Rama Resort, and Playtime Casino Wasaga Beach. Must be 19 plus. Play smart. Details at gatewaycasino.com. And now with your forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Okay, we still have some smoke across the GTA, and we're going to watch it dissipate a little bit because we have a southeasterly wind that is essentially pushing that smoke back towards the fires. So it's kind of the beneficial wind direction that we haven't had much of so far in the last few days. So this is going to be a bit of a change for us, and it actually improves the air quality. So 22 is a guaranteed high today. We'll have a mix of sun and cloud, and we'll also have the chance for a few showers around Lake Ontario as we go after about 2 o'clock into the evening. Not a soaking rain, but periods of rain can't be ruled out, especially for the Niagara region. And then for tonight, down to 14. Tomorrow, more widespread rain and thunderstorms, 20 degrees. And then for Tuesday, sun and clouds, some leftover rain, and 21. Then Wednesday, sunny and 26 with increasing humidity. Right now, it is 14 at Pearson. Your guaranteed high is 22.
680 News Time, 7:53. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have more on our lead story. A man shot in the Mount Dennis neighborhood of Toronto last night has died of his injuries in hospital.
Hey, so what did you want to talk about?
Well, I want to tell you about Wegovy.
Wegovy?
Yeah, Wegovy.
What about it?
On second thought, I might not be the right person to tell you.
Oh, you're not?
No, just ask your doctor about
Wegovy.
Yeah, ask her it by name.
Okay, so why did you bring me to this circus?
Oh, I'm really into lion tamers. You know, with the chair and everything.
Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Exclusions may apply.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Donald Trump says he's no desire to repair his relationship with Elon Musk and is warning Musk he could face serious consequences if he tries to help Democrats in upcoming elections. Trump's latest comments to NBC News Saturday comes as Vice President J.D. Vance is trying to downplay the feud between the world's richest man and its most politically powerful. It started with Musk's opposition to the massive tax and spending plan Trump is trying to get through Congress right now. And a social media exchange between the two men this week grew personal. The Republicans in recent days have urged Musk and Trump to try to patch things up. It's the last day of the RBC Canadian Open in Caledon. A number of Canadians still in contention for the title. Hamilton native Mackenzie Hughes 2 shots back of the lead a year after he was in a similar position heading into the final day of play. He says since then he has learned to stay within himself.
I think last year I got off to that great start, and it was easy to kind of look forward, you know, and imagine what it would be like to win tournaments 10 minutes from my house and win the Canadian Open. You know, it was difficult not to have that in your mind, and I think it's it affected me. And so tomorrow I'm going to need to do a good job of really staying present.
A whole host of Canadians, including Taylor Pendrith, Adam Hadwin, Nick Taylor, 4 shots off the lead. Italian Matteo Manassero, New Zealand's Ryan Fox are tied for first at 14 under par. The President Donald Trump walking out to a standing ovation ahead of last night's UFC event in New Jersey. Trump shaking hands with fans as well as supporters. He sat with UFC President Dana White at the event where American Kayla Harrison won a title fight against fellow American Juliana Pena. Coming up in 60 seconds, it's Weekend Business. It's 7:56.
680.
News Radio Toronto.
All week at Real Canadian Superstore, get $25 back in PC Optimum points for every $100 spent on home, baby, beauty, apparel, and more through our PC Optimum app. Bask in the glow of low prices at Real Canadian Superstore. Proudly Canadian. Conditions apply. See flyer for details.
Where style meets performance, a new journey begins. Genesis delivers bold elegance and cutting-edge innovation.
From courtside to luxury rides, go where the basketball stars shine, on the road.
Visit genesismississauga.ca today for an experience centered around you.
Tariffs, exchange rates, cash flow. In the face of the current storm, Canadian entrepreneurs need to forge ahead. And BDC, the Business Development Bank of Canada, is with you every step of the way with strategic advice and financing solutions adapted to your reality. It's time to take action, to tackle the uncertainty, and to come out stronger. Together, let's keep moving forward. BDC, financing, advising, know-how.
Weekend Business, a presentation of Dynamic Funds.
I'm Chris McCusker. Google Canada is helping to build Canada's artificial intelligence workforce with a $13 million opportunity fund. Now, the goal is to reach at least 2 million Canadians, underlining the importance of embracing the technology. Sabrina Jeremiah is VP and Country Managing Director at Google Canada.
We've partnered with these 4 organizations. They're the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute, First Nations Technology Council, Skills for Change, and the Toronto Public Library. And for example, if you're in Toronto and you walk into a public library branch, what you might see on the bulletin board is a sign that says that there is a group learning opportunity for AI Essentials. And this is a Grow with Google course that allows any Canadian to understand what AI is. And then we have Amy in Alberta that's focused on really asking the questions, how do we get this out to post-secondary education? And the First Nations Technology Council is really understanding how do we get AI skilling in partnership with Indigenous peoples to bring it to Indigenous peoples across Canada.
And there is big opportunity here.
If Canadians start learning the skills, using the tools, we can basically untap $230 billion economic impact for Canada. There's about 175 hours per worker that could be saved on lower, repetitive, mundane tasks. That's almost 3 weeks a year for every Canadian.
Sabrina Jeremiah is VP and Country Managing Director at Google in Canada. And with your Weekend Business Report, I'm Chris McCusker.
Going on vacation? Spending money in another currency? From dollars to dong, pounds to pesos. If you're still using major banks, you could be getting ripped off. Instead, use Wise and save up to 3 times compared to major banks when you spend money in another currency. Download the Wise app today. Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. Terms and conditions apply.
Running a business in Canada? Name even one thing you love about your bank. I'll wait. Thought so. Meet Float. Built in and for Canada, Float gives you fast access to corporate cards, bill payments, foreign exchange, and expense tools made for this century. Oh, and did we mention up to 4% interest on your balance? Turns out there is something to love. It's just not your bank. Get started in as little as 24 hours at floatfinancial.com.
From Real Housewives royalty to NYC reality. Watch an all-new episode of Next Gen NYC Tuesday on Bravo at 9 or stream it on City TV+.
680 News Time, 8 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good morning. It is Sunday, June the 8th. I'm Caitlin Lee.
I'm John Leatherby. Here's what's making news right now.
A man is dead after a shooting in Toronto's Mount Dennis neighborhood last night. The homicide unit has been called in.
Man in his 60s in custody, a 12-year-old boy with injuries after an alleged impaired driving crash happening at Highway 27 in Finch.
Donald Trump calls in the National Guard as protests continue in California over immigration raids.
The question we're all asking in the GTA, when will the wildfire smoke clear out? The details ahead.
The Blue Jays pick up their fourth win in a row, topping Minnesota. They'll try for a sweep this afternoon, and we get the final round at the RBC Canadian Open. Sports at 15.
680 News Time, 8:01.
Time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather on the ones. Here's Chloe Bernabe.
Thanks, Caitlin. The support is brought to you by Adonis. So if you're traveling on the westbound 401, it seems we do still have this full closure out east from Wesleyville Road to Newtonville Road due to a crash. So it is not that far of a stretch, and the delays are pretty minimal, so that's okay. Through Mill Street, there was another full closure, but that has cleared away, so good news there. Other than those two issues, there's really not much going on your major routes. All the construction from the overnight has cleared up, and everything seems to be moving up to speed. There is some long-term construction to be aware of. If you're on the southbound 404 south of Bloomington, the left lane's blocked off. The westbound Bloomington on-ramp is closed. On the northbound 427 north of the 401, they're doing some lane realignment, so you're down to 2 lanes. On the southbound side of the 427, same thing, lane realignment from the 409 down to Airport Road. Southbound 410 on the ramp to the eastbound 401, there's going to be a left lane blocked off there for some road work. On city streets, Due West Fest has Dundas closed both directions, Lansdowne to Shaw. And in Caledon, Beach Grove Side Road is closed from Maine to Porterfield for the Canadian Open. For fresh quality produce, Adonis is your destination. Until June 11th, 1 pound of lime bags and 6 units avocado bags are $2.99 each. And now with your forecast, here's meteorologist Carl Lamb.
All right, thanks, Chloe. Well, we're up to 16 now out at Pearson. It's mostly cloudy, and the cloud cover quite thick, especially out towards areas like Hamilton and up towards areas like Guelph and Orangeville. So not as much sunshine there, a little more sunshine out east this morning. 22 is a guaranteed high. We do still have some smoke out there, but that southeasterly wind today is going to help kind of push it back towards the active fires. So that certainly is a benefit to us as that air quality will start to improve. And then for this afternoon, after about 2 o'clock, we do have the chance for some rain showers moving on through. We're certainly watching that very closely to see how it materializes, but don't be surprised if there's some rain that pops through as we go into the afternoon and evening, specifically if you're close to Lake Ontario. Right now, it is 16 at Pearson. Your guaranteed high is 22.
680 News Time, 8:03.
We begin with breaking news. A man has died following a shooting in the city's Mount Dennis neighborhood last night.
Toronto police say that this happened shortly after 10 o'clock near Jane and Emmett Avenue. That's a Jane Weston Road area. Not clear what led up to the shooting. Police have not released any suspect description.
A man in his 60s was taken into custody for impaired driving after a 2-vehicle crash. Toronto police say it happened in the Highway 27 and Finch area just after 9:30 last night. A 12-year-old boy suffered minor injuries.
All News Radio time is 8:04.
Everything Toronto.
Some of this weekend's festivals continuing today, including Due West Fest, Dundas Street West, as well as Taste of North York at Mel Lastman Square. Planned subway closure on Line 2 between Woodbine and Broadview stations still in place. Shuttle buses running. The full details of your weekend events, toronto.citynews.ca.
This is 680 News Radio now at 8:05.
680 News Radio. Developing story.
Well, U.S. President Donald Trump is activating 2,000 California National Guard troops to stop 2 days of protests in the Los Angeles area over federal immigration raids. Riot police used what appeared to be tear gas to disperse protesters outside the federal building in downtown Los Angeles. Protesters and riot police also fought in Compton and Paramount. ABC's Alex Stone has more about what's going on there.
The city of Paramount erupting in chaos on Saturday. Protesters blocking a bus carrying agents. To disperse the crowd, Border Patrol agents in riot gear and gas masks deploying tear gas. California's governor in a post on X saying the federal government is moving now to take over the National Guard and to send in 2,000 troops. Gavin Newsom calling the move an escalation. President Trump responded on social media calling on Newsom and LA city leaders to quell the violence.
Governor Newsom says the extra troops aren't necessary and will just inflame the situation.
All News Radio time is 8:06. Back at home, the Saskatchewan government boosting the support it's giving to wildfire evacuees, increasing its financial aid from $20 to $40 per day. A Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency official says it's been mostly status quo with the large fires in the past 24 hours. There's light rain, cooler temperatures, and a fire ban. The province says that could help ease the issues caused by these fires.
Smoke from those wildfires has impacted the GTA over the past week. Some hazy sunshine this morning, but changing winds and rain are helping clear it out this weekend. 680 meteorologist Carl Lim says we aren't done just yet.
For tomorrow, the air quality should be better. It's also because we have more rain moving through, and that will essentially do its best to kind of clear the air of some smoke until we get to the middle of the week where we're back into a southwesterly flow, and there that smoke will return.